Want to live longer? You absolutely must understand this secret today. Hello, elders, uncles, aunts, and friends who are following the channel. I am Dr. David. Throughout my years working in the emergency department, I have witnessed thousands of people standing at the threshold of life and death. But there is one thing that haunts me even more than accidents or trauma. It is the bewildered faces of patients when they receive a diagnosis of stroke, kidney failure, or a heart attack. They always ask me the same question. Doctor, I still eat normally and live a disciplined life. Why did it come to this? The truth is, there is a silent killer hiding right in the kitchen of every family. It silently destroys our bodies for decades without leaving a trace on regular blood test results. That killer is insulin resistance. Today, we will perform a major surgery on health mindsets. The silent killer in the kitchen, the truth about insulin. Before we begin, if you find this topic important for yourself and your family, please click the subscribe button and turn on the notification bell. Your companionship is the mental medicine that drives me to continue this journey of sharing these forgotten medical truths. Now, let us pull back the curtain on this secret. To understand why we get sick, first, we must understand how the body operates. Imagine each cell in your body as a small house. For that house to function, it needs energy. And that energy is glucose, blood sugar. However, glucose cannot simply enter the house on its own. It needs a key to open the door. That key is the hormone insulin, secreted by the pancreas. Every time you eat, blood sugar rises, and the pancreas releases insulin keys to open the cell doors, bringing sugar inside to be burned for energy or stored. It is a perfect process of nature. But what happens if you use that key too many times? In a modern lifestyle, we eat too many refined starches, white rice, bread, noodles, too much sugar, and canned foods. Every few hours, you load a large amount of carbohydrates into your body. The pancreas has to work frantically to produce insulin. Year after year, the cells begin to tire. They become calloused and stop responding to insulin. Like a rusty lock, the insulin key is inserted, but the cell door does not open. This is insulin resistance. The consequences of the pancreas overworking. When cells refuse to receive sugar, that sugar remains in the blood. The pancreas, originally a dedicated worker, thinks it has not provided enough keys. So it pumps more and more. At this point, a silent tragedy unfolds. Your blood sugar index during a checkup might still be within the safe range because the pancreas is using 100% of its power to force sugar into the cells. But the price to pay is that the insulin levels in your blood are skyrocketing. High insulin levels are the source of all inflammation, the agent that damages blood vessels and causes visceral fat accumulation. You need to remember, prediabetes or type 2 diabetes is not the starting point. It is the end result of a process of body abuse lasting decades. I must be honest with you, modern medicine is sometimes too busy treating symptoms and forgets to address the root cause. We often hear advice that sounds reasonable but is actually sweet lies. The mistake about brown bread and whole grains, one of the most common pieces of advice is, just switch from white bread to brown bread or white rice to brown rice, and you will be fine. As a doctor, I must speak plainly. Both of them spike your blood sugar. It is true that brown bread or brown rice has a little more fiber, but essentially they are still carbohydrates. When they enter the body, they still break down into glucose and stimulate the pancreas to secrete insulin. Switching from white bread to brown bread is just like being shot by a small gun instead of a large gun. The end result is that you are still wounded. To truly reverse insulin resistance, we do not just need to change the type of food. We must completely change our mindset regarding energy intake. Insulin resistance does not just lead to diabetes. It is a devastating domino effect, destroying blood vessels. High insulin causes blood vessels to become inflamed and hardened. This is why my father and many others suffered heart attacks even though their blood sugar levels seemed fine. Devastating kidneys and eyes. The tiny blood vessels in the kidneys and retina are the first places to be burned by excess sugar and insulin. Cognitive decline. The latest studies call Alzheimer's type 3 diabetes. When the brain becomes insulin resistant, brain cells cannot receive energy and begin to die slowly, causing the dementia that we often mistake as simply getting old. Have you ever wondered why our ancestors ate simply and worked hard but had fewer diseases? Human history spans hundreds of thousands of years, but we have only been exposed to ultra-processed foods and sedentary lifestyles for about the past 50 to 60 years. Our bodies have not evolved fast enough to handle the massive amounts of sugar in a can of soda or a giant plate of white rice. We are living in Stone Age bodies but fueling them with industrial age fuel. This mismatch is killing us slowly. Food companies design foods that make your brain addicted, leaving you always feeling hungry and craving starch. It is not your fault. It is a systemic trap. Our biggest mistake is eating according to old habits in a food world that has completely changed. To reverse insulin resistance, we need to perform an all-out attack on our daily food plates. Breakfast, the cereal trap. Most of you start the day with a bowl of sticky rice, a loaf of bread, a bowl of noodles, or a bowl of cereal. In my eyes, this is a disaster for blood sugar. When you load up on starch immediately after waking up, blood sugar skyrockets, and the pancreas has to work frantically from early morning. As a result, just 2 hours later, you will feel tired, your hands might shake, and you will crave something sweet again. Stop the habit of an all-starch breakfast immediately. Instead, start the day with protein and healthy fats. Eat 2 boiled eggs, half an avocado, or some almonds or walnuts with unsweetened yogurt. Protein and fat will create a stable foundation, helping your blood sugar remain as calm as a lake throughout the day, instead of dancing like a roller coaster. The golden plate rule for health: you don't need to suffer through starvation. Just rearrange the priorities on your plate. 1/2 of the plate should be green vegetables. Green leafy vegetables, broccoli, cucumbers. The fiber in vegetables will form a mesh in the gut, preventing sugar from absorbing too quickly into the bloodstream. 1/4 of the plate should be protein: meat, fish, eggs, tofu. Protein helps maintain muscle, the main place where the body consumes sugar. The remaining 1/4 should be complex carbohydrates. Instead of white rice, choose sweet potatoes, beans, or whole grains. Eat vegetables first, protein second, and starch last. This sequence helps reduce insulin secretion by 30 to 40% after a meal. Many of you tell me, "I eat very little rice." But you forget the biscuits during tea time, the glass of orange juice between hours, or the sweetened yogurt in the late afternoon. Every time you put something containing sugar into your mouth, it is a direct punch to the pancreas. The pancreas hasn't even had time to rest after the main meal before it has to jump back up to produce insulin for the snack. Eat high-quality, satiating main meals and absolutely stop snacking. Let your pancreas have time to rest and recover. Do you know which part of the body consumes the most sugar, glucose? It is the muscles. Muscles are like a furnace. When you move, this furnace opens its doors and devours the sugar in the blood to create energy. But when you sit still, this door slams shut. Sugar has nowhere to go. It will be converted by the liver into visceral fat, the toxic fat that surrounds your heart, liver, and kidneys. Do not be mistaken about going to the gym. Many people think that going to the gym 3 times a week is enough. But if after 1 hour at the gym, you sit still on a chair for the remaining 10 hours to watch TV or use a phone, your body remains in a shutdown state. The 15-minute secret after meals: this is the most important piece of advice I want you to act on today. Walk for 15 minutes immediately after every main meal. Why after eating? Because this is when blood sugar begins to rise. Gentle walking will activate the muscles to pull sugar directly from the blood without needing too much insulin. You don't need to run. You don't need to sweat profusely. Just walk leisurely around the house, water the plants, or do light cleaning. This is a zero-cost medicine, more effective than any functional food in the world for reversing insulin resistance. Why is it so difficult for us to change our habits? It is because we are facing a massive system worth billions of dollars. Ultra-processed food companies, packaged bread, instant noodles, fast food, do not care about your health. They hire the best scientists to find the formula that makes you addicted. The perfect combination of salt, sugar, and bad fats. These foods may seem cheap and convenient now, but I assure you, they are extremely expensive in the future. You save a few pennies on food today, but you will have to pay hundreds of millions for hospital fees, medicine, and the greatest price: losing your independence, having to lie in one place for others to care for you. The human body is a miracle of nature. It has an incredible ability to self-repair and heal. Insulin resistance is not a life sentence. You can completely reverse it, clean your blood vessels, and regain mental clarity for your brain. The only thing the body needs is for you to give it the right conditions. Eat right and move right. Dear elders, health is not luck, nor is it entirely due to genetics. Health is the result of the small choices you make every day. Choosing eggs over bread, choosing to walk instead of sitting, choosing to refuse an offered biscuit. Do not wait until you feel chest pain, blurred vision, or numbness in your limbs before you start seeking treatment. That is usually the time we have to pick up the broken pieces. Start today while you can still make decisions for yourself. If this video made you startle and look back at your meal plate and you want to change, please leave a comment. I will change below. If you have any questions about the menu or exercise routines, don't hesitate to ask. I will answer you directly. Don't forget to like and share this video with your relatives, children, or friends. An act of sharing can save the life of someone in your family, helping them avoid heartbreaking events later on. Subscribe to the channel so we can walk together on the journey to living healthy, strong, and sharp until 90 years old. Thank you for taking the time to listen. My happiness is seeing you healthy and loving life. See you again in the next medical truth-sharing videos. I am Dr. David. I wish you a very peaceful day full of energy.